Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Still the Yet to Be Named. I realize we have dropped the ball on
that's what we needed to remember to tell the crew.
Really early morning this morning, guys, not going to lie. But we're here, we're alive, and after the weekend, it's surprising because we had back-to-back game days. So eight games in 2 days.
Gorgeous games.
Really
Amazing.
eventful stuff happening this weekend. Some standing changes that came our way. We got Ignite and Milwaukee Kings still sitting at the top of the league, 6-2 respectively apiece. Ignite still got the top seed because of the point differential. They had the biggest win so far this season against Fury over the weekend, a 49-point win.
That was a destruction.
Yeah. It was tough to see Fury go through that. But every team this weekend went 2-1 except Fury, 0-3. So overall, a pretty well-rounded weekend. I saw a lot of upsets. So let's break down Saturday's games.
Yes, let's do that. Exciting games. 4 games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday.
Yeah, we opened with Ignite versus Dynasty, 105-100 win. Ignite wins.
That's exciting. 105-100.
Yeah, it was a close game. The 3 Ignite players with 23-plus points, including a game-leading Cole Elliston with 32 points. He's smooth. He is very smooth with it. I mean, it comes and goes. I mean, that's the whole reason I think that Ignite roster is successful is because at any point you can see Jonathan go off, you can see Dakota go off, you can see Cole, you can see Quan. You got both Quans actually, going off there.
They have multiple scoring options.
Yeah.
And Cole, I feel compared to last year, has really matured as a point guard in this field at the professional level.
Tremendously.
He's really consistent this year, just in his teammanship, leadership, and always, of course, scoring consistently.
Yeah, completely agree. So with his game leading 32 points, they defeat Tian'an Chen and Sean Chisholm, who combined for a total of 49 points, just kind of fell short there. Usually that big three of Sean, Steve, and Tian'an on Dynasty. That's a good 3. You don't get to see a lot of big guys work together really well nowadays, but that is a group of 3 that they are the best big 3 I think in the league. I think they are a tremendous asset.
Tian'an is just a monster.
I know.
It's just exciting to watch him play. I just get chills.
Yeah, and out of those 3, you got guys that bring a little bit of everything. Obviously, Chen is more fundamentally sound. He likes everything on the inside glass, likes the big man game. Sean is same way. I mean, they move differently though. And so you kind of see more of that mid range game out of Sean. Steve likes to extend the floor a little bit, run coast to coast, kind of take that more athletic approach. I mean, he is. Yeah. They all offer just that kind of. Big man, versatile game, but in a different way, which is cool to see.
And Tian'an, even though he's a monster on the boards, he has a game on the outside too.
Yeah,
he can nail it from the 3. Absolutely, every single time. He's just smooth. And actually, we have him coming up.
Yes,
in a little bit.
Later on, we got a player interview with Chen, so it'll be nice to interview him as he's leading the league right now with 26.7 points per game, which is quite impressive, especially within this league, and to hear about his background and exactly how he got to this point will be interesting to know. So
can't wait for that.
And we had game 2 on Saturday. Kings ousted Fury. That was one of Fury's 3 losses. However, Kewan Crowder, the Fury, had a game leading 26 points, but just wasn't enough really to knock down the Kings. I mean, they're a well-rounded roster as well. Game 3, Dynasty versus Movement. Dynasty wins 88-73. And that is kind of where the big trio of Chisholm, McAfee, and Chen combined for 63 points.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to lose when your biggest guys are going 20+ a game. So that's awesome to see.
When you have 3 hitters like that, that's difficult to stop.
Well, in a league that struggles with bigs, I think that's that. I mean, that's a lot of teams when especially in our league, when you have bigger guys, your advantage is just a little bit different on the inside. So it's good to see that, they were able to find those guys. It's a huge pickup for them. So, like I said, anytime they're really combining for 60-plus points a game, they're competing or winning that game. So, and then the final game of that night, Ignite ousted Fury for that 49-point win, which is the biggest win margin of
the season.
Of the season, yes.
Yeah, yes. They were. It almost seemed like they had something to prove.
Yeah,
I mean that game, there was so much defense there from Ignite. They were all over the ball. They caused a lot of turnovers on the Fury end of things, and it seemed like they had something to prove, and they were just unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, Dakota Zinzer had the first league's 40-piece game that night. I mean, it was just like they were just going back and forth. And when Ignite gets that in the mode of transition, I mean, they are
transition
scary.
Points, tons of transition points.
Conditioning-wise, they're just on another level than I think a lot of the teams right now, which is the reason they maintain at the top seed in the conference. So going into Sunday.
With that game, though, you said Dakota dropped 40?
Yes, yeah.
40, yeah.
Yep, that was the first ever league. So
yeah, he's smooth. He's got some crazy moves to the rim. There's a few highlights we'd love to post and show you that of dunks and just some great game from Dakota.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely helped aid in that win versus Fury. So going into Sunday, we had first game Movement versus Kings, and this is where things kind of turned around for Movement. I mean, previously to this specific day on Sunday, I mean, they struggled. I mean, they were 0-5. Had a lot of technical fouls going their way, a lot of different things with players, a lot of complications, but
they figured it out.
They did.
So that was good.
Yeah, very positive. I mean, they ousted the two top teams of Kings and Ignite in one day after coming off being 0-5.
Yeah.
To know that they turned it around in that way, I mean, it's scary impressive on how quickly they just got acclimated. They said, we're here to stay, and we're taking down the top two teams in the league in one night.
Yeah, and compared to the first day, if I want to describe it, on Saturday, they were a little erratic, a little bit too emotional. They let refs get to them. Yeah. They let situations on the court get to them. And actually, because they didn't keep their composure, I think that really made them struggle on Saturday. Even though they had cleaned up their roster, they had some fine-tuned some things for their guys. But on Sunday, they were focused. They stayed calm.
They were ready.
Yeah.
There was no more messing around for them. And, I mean, they deserved those wins. I know
absolutely.
When it came down to it, that game one, defeating the Kings, I mean, by 18 points, that's tough. I mean, the Kings were out, their top scorer, Adam Fravert. However, nonetheless, they're still a solid roster. I mean, they're still a second team in the conference. I mean, the league kind of roster.
Ben on the boards.
So, yeah. I mean, it was tough to be able to go from what they're previously playing like to all of a sudden flip a switch, and then Sunday they come out and dominate. I mean, you have Carlin Dupree, who had 30 points and 11 rebounds, and held Ben Meinholtz, who is their leading scorer without Adam Fravert, to 16 and 14. So that, it was impressive.
Saw
to see
more
them
teamwork on Sunday from them.
Easily. And it kind of proved what kind of the upsets that can happen in the league, like to see them come from 0-5 to the fact that they take down the first two teams, in the league, it's impressive. So in game two, we had Fury versus Dynasty, with Dynasty winning 95-87. Dynasty definitely had a sleepy second quarter, only scoring 9 to the Fury's 20 points, but ultimately they pulled out on top with that big three combination. I mean, it was another 60-plus point game for them, and like I said before, when they are combining for 60-plus points, they are either competing in that game or they're winning it, and in this situation, they won it. So game three, we went on to Movement versus Ignite, and that's where Ignite defeated the top team of Ignite. And, that was the most fun game to watch of the weekend, just because there was a very questionable call made towards the end of the game. Which mistakes are going to happen, but this was a tough shot clock violation call. Malik Clemens came up, few seconds left, puts one up, rattles off the rim. Shaq comes back down with it, Shaq Francis, and goes back up with it, and they call a shot clock violation, didn't account for it, hitting the rim and resetting to 14. So it was Ignite balls going the other way, and I think that was the same possession that they came down and
Yes.
Yeah, then the
That
4-point
game,
play
yes.
with Jonathan Brager. So Jonathan Brager puts up a 3, gets fouled from beyond the arc, and goes to the line. So that was a very tough call for the refs there. However,
now and Ignite compared to Saturday, they came out kind of flat that game. Defensively, and I think that really hurt them because that's such a key component to their game. To get a lot of transition points. They just weren't hitting their outside shots like they typically do from their leading scorers.
Yeah, I mean, I know Dakota Zinser still had 29 points, which is impressive, but I mean, Malik Clements answered that, and his 29 points were just more influential in that game, and coming down to those final moments, they end up winning. I mean, winning, they send it to overtime with Malik Clements overtime.
Yes, overtime, yes, and in that overtime game, it was great, but Ignite was up, and there was a scuffle at the end. They were up by 2 points in overtime. So they really they had the lead. They had the game in hand. There was a little scuffle with Cole. Again, great defense from Cole. He almost caused a turnover, but he got it.
Yeah.
And found an open guy.
Malik Clements, 29 points, solidified his. He was it was just
at the buzzer.
At the buzzer beater from beyond the arc. Nailed that thing right through and put it in. So that was our first buzzer beater overtime win. So huge congrats to Ignite for being able to pull that off. I mean, Movement for being able to pull that off against Ignite, because that, like I said, I mean, that's the kind of team they're capable of. When you have Carlin, Dupree, and Malik Clements just playing at the caliber that they can play with, it's tough to be able to match what they're doing out there. So then we kind of went into our final game of the night, and it was a Kings win, 93-86 over Dynasty. Davon Winters, who is just out of high school, scored his league high or career high so far in the league, up 25 points. Marcel Kemp, who is just smooth with it, scored 22, and those two together just help oust the Dynasty. Chen, however, just had a phenomenal game. Just wasn't enough, but he went 12 of 18 from the field and had 30-point game, but it wasn't enough. So
yeah, Marcel for the Kings, he's phenomenal. He really takes control of the game when Kings need it.
Yeah.
When they're down or when they need a spark to pull their team back, I think the team looks for him too at times to make things happen, and he has a sense of urgency about him. And understanding and intellect of the game. So that's great to have seen that and see him step up as a leader on the court. And but like you said, Dynasty's tough. That Chen on the board's very tough, very tough.
Yeah, I know for the first half, he was pretty much unstoppable. He went 12 of 18 from the field in general. And I think, those misses came from in the second half. I'm not even sure if he missed in the first half. I
don't think so.
He had so many turnaround step backs. Yeah.
Unstoppable. But I think that, that was their third game of the weekend.
Yep.
And those guys played a lot of minutes. And I think your legs after a little bit, just get slow, tired. You don't have that movement or the energy behind their shot.
Yeah.
So that some of them fell short that second half.
Yeah, and we kind of see where the younger guys are able to close out that weekend, and it's great to see guys like Davon Winters just go off. He's 19, fresh out of high school. He doesn't have the collegiate experience, but you never know in this league exactly what's going to come out, who's going to step up to the plate, what day, what that's going to look like. So huge congrats to the Kings. Like I said, everybody this weekend went 2-1. Fury went 0-3. But a great weekend overall.
Absolutely, yeah. And we had a nice fan base. Was it Chris Lewis?
Oh, he was holding it down with the fans.
Yeah. He brought a busload, and they were great. So it was great. So if you are coming to the games, we thank you very much, because it's great to feel and hear that energy and the sound behind the courts, behind the scorers table, and see everybody get so excited, because they are exciting games. Mm-hmm. These guys put everything, all their passion into these games, and it's nice for them to have that support.
Yeah, and those are our final games at the Nominee Nation Arena. So now we're packing up and going to Just a Game Fieldhouse in the Dells to close out our season. So first game's coming up there, April 9th, and going all the way through June 11th. So that would be the final championship game.
So where are we with the standings right now?
Yeah, so we got Ignite and Kings still at the top of the league. Dynasty sitting at 4-5, Movement's 2-5, and Fury is 2-6, kind of riding out that.
Some of their games were close, though.
Oh yeah, no. When they're in the what is it? I think it was on Sunday they were out Kewan Crowder, who is their leading scorer. So a lot of those more pivotal games that they maybe could have snagged, they just didn't have him there, and it showed. They have a limited number roster in general at this point compared to other teams in the league. So when you are playing those back-to-back games, those long days, those long nights,
you need your full team,
especially your best player.
Yeah.
So for them to be out, I think, or for him to be out, I think that was influential in them going 0-3 this weekend. But there's no doubt in my mind, I think that roster's got a lot of potential. I know Isaiah Banks had some really good games this weekend. He can really board it like no other and finish on the inside.
Banks. There's a reason why his last name is Banks.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah,
so
he's
got it down. I think there's a lot of potential, and when Chris is out there, I mean, and he's feeling right, he's pretty much unstoppable too. So
yeah, I think if Fury utilizes Banks a little bit more, I think that they would see some more good things happen in their games, because he's a big and a lot of times I feel he gets, when he's inside and they give him the ball, I feel a little bit more limited, even though he's big. He seems to be much more impressive coming out of the 3-point line, because he can drive to the rim and finish. And so at that height, there's not a lot of guys who can defend that with his length. And I saw him when he was much more active in the games. He did more things for his team that just gave them an advantage.
Yeah, and I know, talking to Coach Nate, the head coach of the Fury, Nate Wickstrom, it was tough because, they were out Josh Williams as well this weekend, and that is kind of their true center, post-to-post kind of guy runner. But playing Zay on the inside is something he expressed to me early on, saying he did not want to do. And for those exact reasons you said, he's an outside guy. He's a 4, he's not a 5, he's not a true 5 at all. So his ability to be able to run up and down the floor to make things happen, it's limited when he's got to go post to post, because I think he wants to go line to line, 3-point line to 3-point line, or free throw line to free throw line.
You can tell that's his favorite. Absolutely.
So it's tough to see him played out of position a little bit, but he had some great games over the weekend. So there's no doubt in my mind that, again, Josh Williams back and Kewan Crowder back, I think that they're going to have a different weekend rather than 0-3. Being displaced 2 of your better players, your tallest player and your leading scorer, I think that's tough to deal with. So I think that's the reason that they were in that position. But moving forward, I suspect them to be just as competitive as the rest of the teams. I mean, pulling off another Movement upset where we have them taking down the top 2 teams isn't unrealistic to think. I did wish that there was that 49-point loss between Ignite versus Fury. I wish it was different, just because I've seen them go at it so many times. I mean, they practice together, they compete against each other, and they scrimmaged each other probably like 20 times before the season, and eventually got to this point where we just cut it. And we were like, this has probably been too many times, getting a little too physical. It's not as beneficial. So, but to see that be that way, I know Fury's got it in their heads that won't happen twice. So,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they're competitors. They're absolutely competitors.
I mean, the other rivalry I like to see in the league is Movement and Dynasty, just coming out of that Madison area. There's some high intense games. I know on Saturday when they faced off against each other, Movement they were still not at their best, not at their Sunday best like they were with that 2-0. But it's a fun atmosphere.
Yes.
And those 2 rivalries are fun. Yeah, they got Kings on the outside, which is pretty much just trying to make a rivalry and make things happen with any team out there. But Dynasty and Movement and Ignite and Fury, I think those are kind of the more personal rivalries that, if you got a chance to see, you should come out and watch, because they get exciting.
Yes. Yeah, and there's so many good things happening, so many great plays. I actually took a lot of notes on these games, and after watching, I throughout the games, I was writing down hit of the game, matchups of each game.
Oh, yeah,
dunk of the game. So we're going to have to pull those and post them, and I bet you we can produce that right over this little section here.
Oh yeah. We'll keep unlocking
the
the money with Big Bark Media. Super plug there.
Big Bark Media, they can do it.
They'll make anything happen. Right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Got a little yes from behind the camera over there. You love it.
But no,
it's great film. There's great film of these guys and these teams that it's just exciting to watch.
In speaking specifically between that movement and Dynasty game, I mean, Steve McAfee had a phenomenal dunk over 6'10" Sergio Nalu, and it was. I mean, that's something. If we don't roll, I don't know. Well, yeah, that was.
We have to.
That was where the league.
See the level of the league and these teams and players.
Well, I mean, and Steve was a guy that I had reached out to early on in the year when we were developing this league, because he had played in the ABA with us, and that's where we had originally put our first team. And I was like, Steve, you got to come over to the WBL. I'm like, I don't even care what team you play for.
Yes.
Just come over to the WBL. Yes. And he's like, well, I'm out of, Baraboo. Where's the close? I'm like, all right, Madison's your team. Let's make it happen. And it seems like he's found a great fit there. So, Steve, I'm glad everything worked out.
Yes. And that's the great thing about this league, especially when we add another team or two in other areas of the state, is we can accommodate for people, whether you're out of Madison, Milwaukee, the big towns, the smaller towns in Appleton. We're hoping La Crosse next season.
Green Bay.
Yeah, we can help you play at a high level right in your back door, right in your neighborhood, and keep that career going, because it should.
Yeah. Well, when you see all these stats, when you see all these things, we have guys that have gone overseas, just come out of high school. Like
Dakota was in 7 or 9 countries.
Yep. Playing. Yeah. I mean, Malik Clements was also overseas. Carlin Dupree. All those guys. Adam Fravert. I mean, the list goes on. So having the experience of those guys as players, and also our coaches that have gone overseas, is just, it's nice to see, because then it also combines with guys like I mentioned before, Winters or Tyreek Curtin, of Kings that came out of high school, didn't really plan on playing long term at any specific college, and they're here, and
they're making an
they
impact.
Got some talent.
They do.
That's for sure. So,
and it's only going to get better the more they play.
Absolutely.
The more they practice and train.
Completely agree. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to our games coming up at Just a Game. We do take a little bit of a break here for about 2 weeks until then, just kind of getting some things ordered in place for the postseason, the playoffs, and kind of seeing what we can jumble up there. Dunk contest, 3-point contest, starting the work, combo guard contest. Everything you could imagine, we're going to try to throw at you in our postseason events. So stay tuned for that.
We have some even gear.
Yes.
Some of our best athletes or athlete player for you showed me some pictures yesterday of some shoes.
Oh, yes. We might.
I said yes. I thought I said yes already.
We will. Then you can't go back on this. We're going to show our accountant this film and say that she can't go back on it because it's public.
You didn't even tell me that amount yet. I'm just like, that's a great idea. We got to do it.
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
Yeah. That's usually how it goes. But no, we are planning on, obviously there's different awards throughout the year, right? So you can win WBL champions, which will get you fitted with some nice hats, your trophy, WBL, everything like that. But this season we're trying to pay tribute to everybody. And so there's going to be a league MVP. And specifically with that league MVP, they will receive a custom pair of WBL kicks.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So custom, like hand-drawn. Plug the guy that's going to do it here. So it will be really cool to see, and then we'll be raffling off the other pairs. So
lots of opportunities to win some gear, show off all that you did during the season, and we can, with all that we do for our athletes, use some sponsors.
Yeah,
we can use some business sponsors, so you can get plugged multiple times throughout this soon to be named show, WBL Wisconsin Basketball League, soon to be named show, and you can get your name right here on these mugs,
or on a banner, or on T-shirts, literally anything. Yeah,
wherever you want it, we'll put it. Might even have to tattoo it on Allie's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lifetime sponsorship. That's a lifetime. We'll talk about that price later. Yeah. That's a lifetime spot. But it'll have to surpass like my mom and maybe your grandparents approval. A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. They might have to get something out of it too.
Yeah. True. Yeah. That's a whole different kind of investment. But we're willing to take it.
Yes, we are.
But no, I think the thing I'm most excited for is our interview with Tianna Chen coming up here.
Yes. Phenomenal athlete, phenomenal player. And we just want to find out who the player in person is behind the game that we've been so excited to experience.
Yeah, right now Chen is averaging 26.7 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and a whopping 51.6% from the field. The guy is making literally every other bucket he takes.
I was at the scorer's table, and it was interesting. It was Fury versus Dynasty, and Coach Brett Whitchow. You can hear he was yelling at his guys. Oh,
Fury, because that's Brett's the Kings.
Did I say Fury?
Nate?
No. Kings.
Okay,
I'm
Kings
sorry.
versus Dynasty.
Yeah, Kings. Thank you for that clarification. It's early. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need a little bit more coffee in this mug.
We just got water.
But, water. That's just plain and boring. I need some energy. What are we talking about? 5 hours. 5 hour and a half an hour.
Sponsor?
Please sponsor 5 Hour Energy. They would sponsor us.
We need it.
I think any
lifetime supply would be nice.
That'd be great. Wake us up. So Brett Whitchow from the Kings, when they're playing Dynasty, I just heard him yelling at his guys. What do you expect if you're not going to play defense?
Yeah.
You can't give him an inch. Yeah. He is in your face, lockdown shooter, and he's got a vertical. I have to ask him today, what is his vertical? Because he's got some hops.
I need to know, the weight of that. He is a,
strong
he
can
dude.
Finish through multiple people on the boards.
And that is what I was talking about before with the diversity in bigs that Dynasty has. So it comes down to, you got kind of a lengthier Steve McAfee coming from the outside. You got Sean Chisholm, who's kind of just that, you're what you could imagine a 4 being, and Chen is I don't know how to explain. He's just a monster.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he just makes things so much more difficult physically for everybody.
Okay, we are excited, Allie, because we have a special person and player with us today, Tianna Chen. Welcome, Tianna.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good. Just getting my day started. I just had my coffee, so I'm ready to go.
Great. Recovering from the weekend's games, 3 of them.
Definitely. It was playing 4 games in a row is not easy. I think, especially that last game. I got hurt kind of in the last game, the last minute. So that was definitely disappointing for me. But I'm going to recover. We got a month off, so that helps. I'll be back out there at the end of April for sure.
Yes. Yeah, that's where we said we need a WBL masseuse. I think the guys would enjoy that, right?
We need a physical therapist, a surgeon. We need everything.
We'll get all that and more just for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have to, Chen. You're an amazing player. We have just been. I think the entire league has been quite impressed with the gamemanship, everything that you bring to the court. I took some notes on you, so I'm just going to read those off really quick. I just find that you are a coach's nightmare. A coach's nightmare when they have to come up against you because you are just an all-around impressive player on both ends of the court. You got hot hands. You put on big stops offensively, inside and out. You've got it all. Step backs, fadeaways. You're focused. You're zoned in. You have a depth and understanding of the game. Combo threat. You can hit the outside jumper. Can battle on the boards. It doesn't stop. It doesn't. Drive and finish. Drive and kick. Reverse layups against multiple defenders, and you communicate well.
You guys are giving me too much credit. I feel like you guys are gassing me up, but I really appreciate it. I really do. The basketball has been a huge part of my life, so to hear you guys say that, it makes me feel really good.
Yeah. Well, that's what actually we want to hear from you and talk about. You say basketball's been a big part of your life, and we want to know, where do you come from? How did you learn the game of basketball? And what did you do to get this far to be such a great player?
Sure. So I'm actually from, I was born in China. I immigrated to the U.S. at age of 3. My dad was doing his master's over at University of Illinois, and my mom came with him. And so I didn't really start playing basketball until about 4th grade when we moved to Peoria, Illinois. Peoria is kind of like, it's not a very good city. It's just like the armpit of Illinois, you know what I mean? But I mean, the good thing is there's a big basketball culture there. So in 4th grade, I played on the travel team. I think I scored like 2 points all season.
It's a start.
Yeah, I was not very good. I like soccer. I like video games more. And 5th, 6th, 6th grade, I didn't even make the team. So I was done with basketball for a while. 7th grade, I finally got back on the team. That was good. Didn't get any playing time. I really struggled with playing time growing up because I was just tall and awkward. But high school, I really started to blossom, playing varsity, and playing AU really helped me too, because that really exposed me to like a different talent level. Coming in my junior year, I knew I wanted to go play college basketball somewhere, so I played in a lot of like high academic showcases because for me personally, school was the number one thing that was driving me. I was seeing basketball more as like a vehicle for my education. So junior year, I played in a lot of showcases, got recruited by a lot of high academic D3s. Like if there was like a D3 out there that was like good at school that needed like a 33 ACT or above, like I was probably talking to them.
Yeah, like the Harvard of D3s, basically.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah. I was looking. So then I ended up going to Carleton.
Oh, okay.
Well, then I played D3 ball over at Carleton, finished that up, and then that was a really good experience. Shout out to all the coaches at Carleton too. And then I just been playing, a lot of semi-pro basketball stuff. I play with the Washington CYC Pistons, so that's like a traveling Asian circuit, and they've been trying to get me to play in Hong Kong for a few years now, but I don't know, it's not really lining up money or time-wise.
Oh, okay.
But this is a really good chance for me to continue a little bit there too. So I mean,
our team said that every time they see you off the court, you're working. So you really have to balance.
I know. The first time I think we had an interaction, you asked me, except the tryouts, you asked me if there was like a plug-in for your laptop. I'm like, this guy's between games. Like, you don't want some food or anything? You want the laptop?
No, I'm on my grind. But like, I'm doing my PhD over at Wisconsin right now in computer engineering. So that's a huge time commitment for me. But I always try to find time in for hoops, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So what's the long-term goal career-wise for you?
So I do a lot of like machine learning research. So we do stuff like for your smartphone, a lot of math.
Okay.
So, like we do a lot of stuff with embedded systems, like portability in machine learning. So if you want like your smartphone to make Snapchat filters or augmented reality better, that's what we primarily focus on.
Tech guy.
Yeah.
Tech guy. I love it.
Might need one
High
of those.
IQ. He brings it to the core too. Yeah, we might need one. We're gonna need a WBL app.
Yeah.
You guys are giving me too much credit. I'm just a student.
Yeah, no. It's so much more than that. I mean, going from what you described as kind of a slower start to your athletic career, with just kind of the numbers you were putting up, maybe not as many opportunities until like the varsity level, it sounds like. Now you're going 26.7 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and 51.6% from the field. Like, what drives you to do that? What do you feel like your advantages are in today's game, and where does that all come from?
Well, the one thing I'm really good at is, I have like a little wider of a frame. I'm not very athletic, so I create a lot of space in the game, like in the post. My jump shot's really good. Like that's something I really like about basketball, is that like when you're not really doing anything, you can always shoot jumpers.
Yeah, and you got a high vertical too, so you get up.
I don't know about that. There are people
I see
out
lots
there.
of space under those feet.
Yeah.
Steve dunked on a 6'10" guy last week. That's our most athletic guy.
No, we were talking about that earlier, so that was it.
That was one of the most athletic players I've seen in high school, college, and AAU.
Yeah. We'll be playing that.
That's going to be one of our highlights. But one of our highlights of you that I just absolutely love in watching, every time you nail one of those 3-point shots, you have a great move after that I call a smoking gun. What do you do there?
Oh yeah, I just gotta sally a little bit, because those don't come very often.
Yeah.
Deep. I gotta step back a lot, so I gotta sally on the rare occasions.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful.
A fans guy, right? Yes. Smart on and off the floor. So honestly, it's great to have you within the WBL. I mean, I hope you maintain at the top of the league. You're competing right now with the other top 5 players in the league with Adam Fravert, Dakota Zinser, Carlin Dupree, Cole Ellisted. These are all guys that have collegiate experience or overseas experience. So keep working hard. Like I said, I hope to see you and Dynasty at the top of this league and towards the end of the season. So
sure, yeah. Shout out all the coaching staff at Dynasty too. You guys are doing a great job too. So shout out to the coaching staff and my teammates for sure.
Absolutely.
Great.
Well, thank you
for taking the time to be with us today.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes.
Right. Have a great day.
One.
All right, see ya.
Bye. Well, that was a great interview with Tiannan Chen.
Absolutely.
He's an amazing player in person. And we've got more to come, though. What do we got?
Well, next week we are off games-wise, but we will be back with episode 3, discussing a little bit more about the league, just kind of what matchups we're looking like and what the postseason's looking like. Also, maybe another player or coach interview. That's to be determined.
I think that's exciting to hear and watch for the fans and the league players and coaches. Get a little bit more background from everybody who influences this organization.
It's a great game of basketball. So, all right. Well, thank everybody for watching.
Thank you.
No games next week, but we will be back with another episode. So, see you then.
Have a great week.